What up, friendos? Welcome back. It's content day, and I figured what better way to, just suckle on the teat of content than to talk about something that absolutely nobody cares about, because nobody outside of my YouTube channel and a very small subsection of the internet knows that this game exists and will ever know that this game exists. It's called Ship of Heroes. It should probably be called Ship of Delusional Developers. Or Ship of Hero, or Ship with no heroes, because obviously as you look right now, there is 0 players online, and it had a 24-hour peak of 11 people. They did apparently reach a peak of 100 players when it released 10 days ago. This is the MMO that decided to launch with a $60 price tag to buy into an MMO that looks like this and plays like something worse than what was made 20 years ago. And the reason I'm talking about this is because I like content, and this game developer is content. I usually wouldn't make repeated videos on something as silly as this, but I'm doing this because it's funny. I just want that to be very, very clear. I'm doing this because people find it interesting, and this will bring some joy and entertainment to people's lives, which is more than I can say for the video game. So that's what we're going to do, because this developer is fucking out of control, guys. Absolutely out of control. You go on the Ship of Heroes, discussion section on Reddit, on Steam, and you can click the people and click view posts, and you can see what they've been posting. And the whole time that this game has been coming out, this guy has been banning people, censoring discussion around the price of the game and the quality of the game. And also, of course, absolutely high off of his own supply on what this game is. And even now, he's posting things that are just like, no normal, reasonable person would ever come to this conclusion. I am somebody who is very for indie development and supporting indie developers. And I'm also very for things existing that aren't for me and that can service a small niche community. I have always been a firm fucking proponent of these things. What I'm not a firm proponent of is somebody being delusional, right? So we just do have to use this time to point that out. So this game, you can see, right? The price tag immediately lets you know something was wrong with this game's, the person running this game. Because who would have thought you could charge $60 box price for a very specific niche MMO that needs a player base to be able to function? You can look at the amount of people playing this and how it's gone down in 10 days since launch. This is not good, right? The game's fucking dead. The guy's response to this is, we have been review bombed. During its first week, Ship of Heroes was review bombed. How many reviews do you even have? You have 68 reviews. How is this a review bomb? In your brain, do you not just look at this and as an adult that capable of self-reflection and go, is it more or less likely that we are being review bombed by this shadowy group of people that play a competing game? They're not competing, by the way. That game won before you existed. City of Heroes, of course, and now the private servers of City of Heroes. There is no competition here. Why would they need to? You're not even a blip on these people's radar because your game is worse. It costs more money and it's worse. So are these people coming from this, in my brain, competing product to ruin our chance at success, or is our game just bad and costs too much money? Most people would just go, oh, made a bad product, made a boo-boo, hopefully we can fix it, let's lower the price, this is reasonable. People, $60 for this is not worth it, this is a reasonable thing to say. But of course, no. This guy thinks they've been review bombed. It's a fairly common problem for new games on Steam. No, it's not. This is not a fairly common problem for new games on Steam. This is a common problem when your game does something wrong on Steam. Let's go through, shall we? Let's take a look at some new games on Steam and let's see if they're being review bombed. You can see there, obviously, I've just looked at the graph. What's a new game on Steam? Popular new releases. Let's just take any of the Hades 2, that's overwhelmingly positive, mostly positive, very positive. Mixed, EA Sports FC, of course, that's mixed. Is that being review bombed? No, it's just a shit game. It's a shit game that normies repeatedly buy to punish themselves because they like football games and apparently gambling. Mars First Logistics, never heard of it. Oh, we're only positive. Cloverbit, very positive, very positive, most positive, very positive. Where's this common review bombing? I'm not personally seeing it. You know why I'm not seeing it? Because it doesn't exist. You get review bombed. Well, this isn't even a review bomb. You get negative reviews when your game gives people a negative experience. It's common sense. As a result, we've made a few simple changes. We are responding to the most common concerns listed. Nobody's playing your game and it costs too much money. Because good, honest people sometimes have significant doubts about a game, and we want to answer them. We've also reset our Steam forums to prioritize discussions among our customers and players. Due to the review bomb trolls swamping the Steam forums with negativity, we suggest that anyone who hasn't purchased and wants to inquire about the game, its features, culture, and path forward visit the Ship of Heroes forums at shipofheroes.com. These forums are maintained in a troll-free state to the best of our ability. Now, obviously, this is delusional, right? And this guy has a series of incredibly delusional posts. One of the key features that make Ship of Heroes a good and fun and great and worth $60 game is that they have an experience that has not been available in many new games in recent years, such as being able to play an MMO with no players. Players can participate in large events like raids with 50 plus players and a large number of enemies on the screen at the same time. Can they? One sec. I know it's been a while since I've been in school, but can you have 50 players on screen when there is 0 online and the max in the last 24 hours was 11? Where are these fucking 50 players coming from? Are you doing superpowers in the game to duplicate human beings? Have you fucking leveraged that technology into the game for $60? No. You're not doing a 50-player raid, are you? Because there isn't 50 players in the fucking game. You'd probably have to schedule this a month in advance so the 50 people that own the fucking thing could log on together for an hour to do a raid together. But they, of course, wouldn't, because they'd probably be doing something better with their time. Like, I don't know, shoving a fucking spade in their ass the wrong way. This in close quarters in an open world with good FPS. Yeah, of course, it's great to have good FPS when your game looks 20 years old and there's nobody on the screen. It may or may not be for you. Or anybody, but it's highly immersive, very, very fun, and the sort of uncontrolled chaos and excitement that many had in the old days, and now can only see in an older MMO. If you want that kind of experience with a positive community of other players and new content that you've never played before, Ship of Heroes is a great home. Said nobody, ever. Some people want MMO features that they love, and new content, not the same old stuff they've been playing for a decade or two. Ship of Heroes lets players form big groups. No, it doesn't. There are no players. For big fights with solid FPS and good graphics. What? What do you mean? What do you mean? This is like this is legitimately like a fucking Second Life mod. This game looks like Second Life. And if you've seen Second Life, you know that that isn't a compliment. And also, it's 2025. So it would never be a compliment. Second Life didn't look good when Second Life was brand new. And this game looks like Second Life. Even the regular mission size team can go up to 10 in size. So you if you want to do a dungeon with the 10 player cap, there's only one person in the entire game, if you're on at the peak time, that isn't in that dungeon with you. There's just fucking odd one out. You know, where's Waldo? Just in town on his own, while the other 10 players play in the dungeon together. Who's he? He must be the most annoying motherfucker in the world. It's probably you. Even the regular mission go up to 10 instead of the 2 to 4 that many games are now. I mean, you could run like fucking 5 groups in the whole game if you had 2-player done, and then there'd still be one odd man out, unfortunately. And the chat is moderated. Yeah, of course it is. There's nobody typing in it. The community of players is positive, and really no one needs to hear or see another gold farmer hawking their wares. You know where gold farmers exist? Where there is value of gold to sell to other people. You know where they don't exist? In games with 11 players in 24 hours. You know, it's just common sense. You wouldn't even need to moderate your chat for gold farmers. Why would anybody be buying gold? There's nobody in the game. Like, come on, bro. This is common sense. Perhaps Ship of Heroes is not for you. Fair. Reasonable. We've started off good. But I will tell you why people are buying it. They're not. They are not. When he was posting this, by the way, when he was posting, oh, you can play with 50 players. This was on the 29th. On the 29th, they had 13 player peak. He was saying, oh, you can join groups with 50 people and do a raid. on a day that they had 13 player peak. Like, bro. There are quite a few reasons and they fit together. First, most MMO players are attracted to new content, new quests, new missions. They are very, very comfortable playing their same old stuff every night, but that stuff, they know it like the back of their hands. They've been playing it for 10 or even 20 years. No, not all MMOs, of course. They want something new, but mainly players also want something they could get in the past from their MMOs, but rarely can now. They want a positive community. I'm sure some people do, yeah. They want to be safe to join a pickup group without being griefed. I'm sure that's important for some people. I agree. And they don't want to be inundated with spam. I don't really see this as a problem in most modern games, but fair enough. Shipper Heroes delivers that. Yeah, it does. The community that supported development is now showing up, and they are helpful and interested in the game and how it will grow. Are they? Where the fuck are they then? Are they waiting on the sidelines? Are they cheering you on? Like, they're certainly not in the game. You asked for selling points, and here's another one. The game looks great for its niche. I mean, different strokes for different folks and all that, you know. Some people like it when women stamp on their balls with high heels on. I don't. It is what it is. Everyone likes different things. Team maximum is 10. Nobody's doing this anymore. By team, he means group. And yeah, sure. Not a lot of games do this. Fair enough. You're right. The league maximum is 60 players. One of the most common comments we hear in-game chat from new players is that this game looks great compared to what I expected from the Steam comments. No, you don't. Maybe somebody said this. Maybe somebody did. That person has been frozen in amber for 20 years. FPS is quite good for these kinds of events. I'd hope so. You've never had 50 players at an event since the game fucking launched, probably. Most of us run 40 to 60 FPS in big league event. Many players are running around with 150 FPS on very powerful computers. I should hope so, mate. The game looks like it came out 20 years ago. But this feature of getting 50 plus players on screen at once in close quarters with big battle against more numerous enemies, it's hard to do. Especially when you don't have them online. How many of the games launched in 2025 have this feature? Not many at all. Well, I mean, you're not one of them, are you? So why would you even be talking about this? Another element is that many MMO players want to get in early. They didn't, though. Be able to have the right to say, I joined during launch. MMO players play their games for years and identify with their games as well. But the core people are buying Ship of Heroes every day and playing it and concluding it's a pretty good game. And actually very fun. Games should be fun, and ours is fun. Yeah. And then, of course, we have the largest post ever. Hello. If you're reading this post, you have reached the discussion boards of the Ship of Heroes store on Steam. This is the place where we tell you about Ship of Heroes and explain the features of the game, so you can decide if playing our new MMORPG would be fun for you. We also encourage Ship of Heroes players to share their thoughts about the game and ask questions as well, just the ones we approve of, because if not, we will ban you. This is our little store, in other words. To combat a wave of third-party harassment, trolling and gaslighting, we've put in a requirement that you must have played the game to post in the main section. Of course, every game has honest critics who don't like some elements and wouldn't personally enjoy the game enough to buy it. We are very responsive to sincere feedback, even if it's about glitches or requests for features, as our players have seen in-game. But we also have an obligation to get our message out, and repetitive complaints are unpleasant for everybody. So we're going to address some of the most common and angriest takes so far in their clearest forms. Your game is too darn expensive. We can buy other games for a lot less money. You need to lower the price right now. You see how he's already poisoned the well of framing this? As if everybody who thinks that this game is too expensive for what it is some kind of like entitled, angry crybaby. No, we're just normal people, mostly, by and large, that are just like, this game will never sell a remotely reasonable amount of units, enough for the game to have a functional population, because you cannot sell a $60 box price, $45 I guess if you count, you get the first $15 per month subscription included. You can't sell this game for that. And you know what? I said it, then the game came out, and it was proven. And you now have objective evidence that this, as a statement, is factually true. You can't argue with it. How can you argue with, not many people are going to buy this game for this price? Game comes out, not many people buy it for this price. Oh, you're just angry and entitled about the price. No, it's just true. First, we want to say we hear you. We really do. But it's not so easy. Even if we wanted to lower the price, Steam has rules for when and how games can change prices. And there are good reasons why Ship of Heroes is expensive. No, there aren't. Steam enables a huge number of games to launch every year, perhaps 100,000 games a year. Wow, that's a lot of games. But Ship of Heroes is one of the very few brand new MMOs. Even more, we are an MMO that has several unusual and impressive features. Brother, please. One of these is that when you play, you can massively customize your character's appearance, and even write a short backstory for your character that other players can see and read. So we have a text editor and less customization than any of the mobile games I played in the last fucking 5 years. Like, this is not a selling point, is it? Very, very few MMORPGs even come close. Ship of Heroes has some of the best MMORPG character creation tools in the world, as far as we can tell. They don't, though. You're not playing these games if you think that. There's literally like 50 clothing options at maximum, and that was like the highest per body piece. And they were just like slightly different, most of them. Very slightly different. The idea that this is like the most robust character creation is actual delusion. You can't change almost any form of like your appearance in the game. Like, there's no like sliders or anything for like random elements. But look at Black Desert Online's character creator that came out again over a decade ago. That makes this look like customizing a Mr. Potato Head. Like, it's crazy. Despite that freedom, we also enable 50 plus highly customized human control characters to battle an even larger number of enemies with their widely varied superpowers, all near you and clearly visible on your screen. And we can keep the FPS on most client computers well above 30. On a mid-range computer, FPS is often above 50, even in a big raid. They don't exist. This is an exciting feature that really delivers the feeling of a massively multiplayer game, not a sort of multiplayer game, not a single-player game with limited co-op play, massively multiplayer. 50 plus customized human control characters at once in a big open area on your screen at once, fighting lots of enemies. Oh, fuck's sake. Sure, great feature, right? It doesn't exist in your game. Is your game a massively multiplayer online role-playing game that hosts 50 plus player combat on screen at once if you can't even get a fifth of the player base to do one of those? No, obviously not. It's like renting out fucking Wembley Arena and saying, oh, I can fit 10,000 screaming fans in here, and then there's just like one guy cleaning with a fucking broom. Like, oh yeah, I had a fucking show at Wembley Arena where I could have had 20,000 fans in there. Yeah, but you didn't, did you? Like, what relevance does this have to anything? How many of the 100,000 games launched on Steam this year will have this combination of features? In truth, we do not know. Probably less than 5. You're not one of them. And why is that important? Because joining a big raid with your character who looks the way you want is extremely fun. Not enough for people to do it. Yet sadly, it's also expensive to create and sustain. Another big factor is our pricing model. You pay for the download and you pay for monthly subs so we can continue expansion of the game. That's it for the foreseeable future. There's no cash up, no loot boxes, no other monetization. We're not trying to nickel and dime you. Fair enough, but you are with the box price and the sub. Or create problems and sell the solution. Once you're playing the game, our only incentive is to make it as fun as possible so that you'll stay, and we're highly focused on that goal. He goes on about the graphics. You know, people saying the graphics look 10 years old. It looks more than that, realistically. You know, again, Black Desert Online came out over 10 years ago. Second, as many people have observed, game graphics have diverged. Indie games usually don't have the budget to match the graphics from big studios. Totally fair, reasonable comment. But those studios can also be predatory and apathetic to feedback. Single-player games also have enormously less latency than multiplayer ones. Most have experienced latency as lag or very low FPS or both. Single-player games are incredibly popular for good reason, and their graphics are getting better every year. Some could be compared to the iconic visuals of major movies. MMOs that enable 50 plus players on screen at the same time cannot keep up. I played a game called Darkfall Online in 2009 that had 500 players on screen at once with, you know, depending on your computer specs, 30-ish FPS was like seen as the top end for back then. 500 plus players on screen, and the game looked better than this in every conceivable way, and was a large, massive open world compared to what this is, with no loading screens, other than like going in a couple of dungeons, which were also not instance. They were just like part of the game world that it teleported you to, so it needed a load screen for back then. So, and again, that game was made by a small company. What would easily be considered an indie company. So to say that this, and that was in 2009. So to say that this game looks good for what it can do is insane. Like you're just not engaging with reality at all. Coordinating the movements, powers, and animations of fights where players may be scattered around the globe in Bangkok, Buenos Aires, Chicago, Kyoto, London, Mumbai, and many other locations has a latency cost. With the current technology, there does not seem to be hope for an MMO with big raid flagship of heroes having true movie quality graphics in the foreseeable future. Tech is always improving, but not today for sure. So when people say our game looks no better than some of the older, more successful and most successful games have made, which are still highly popular games, we have to smile. But you're not one of them, are you? You're new and not popular or successful. When real players actually play Ship of Heroes and see Apotheosis City, one of the most common comments is, wow, this looks so much better than I expected from the Steam forum comments. Why aren't they playing game then? Ship of Heroes is beautiful with the right graphical settings. It doesn't take a cutting edge machine to run them. We invite you to come in, play it, and see for yourself. You won't have enough players to sustain those big raids and the graphics that go with them. I mean, this is just true. This is not a complaint or a criticism you can address. This is just true. Setting aside the fact that quite a few early critics seem to want us to fail, I didn't want you to fail up until you proved to me that you deserve to, right? If you'd have just released this game, said nothing about the price, banned nobody, and just released the game and it failed, I'd have just been like, this game, as a review, is not good. It will fail. Move on. But the minute you start doing this and painting everybody as if they're like some fucking unhinged weirdo, or they're out to get you and they're bombing you for like reasons that aren't related to the game or actions you've committed, right? You know, actions having consequences, then obviously I'm going to make videos about it because I mean it's funny, right? It's entertainment, and also criticism is valid whether you agree with it or like the way it's presented, full stop. When you get to this stage, of course people want to see you fail because of the schadenfreude of you fucked around and now you are finding out. But playing the same battle on a team is a wildly different scenario, making the missions fun in a different way. And the community of players is friendly and helpful, so it's very easy to team up casually. A team can be up to 10 and a league for big raids can go up to 60. What has this got to do with the fact that you've just said there won't be enough players to sustain it though? What the fuck has this got to do with anything? Oh, you can do this. Yeah, I can, again, fill Wembley Stadium. Can't, but, you know, I can technically if I rent it out. Given the ability to dial up the difficulty missions fire rewards, almost every mission in the game can become quite a bit like a raid. Some can be made more difficult than any raid. The game scales up and down depending on the number of players you are playing with, and it scales your levels so that you can team with your experienced friends. That's critical. And we hear from players who are already enjoying Ship of Heroes that teaming and solo are both fun. Some players are wary of big teams and big raids, preferring smaller grouping. That also works well for the same reasons, and since we moderate chat, you are a lot safer from griefing and trolling in Ship of Heroes than in other games. There's no RMT bots or spam gear, a feature many players say they truly want in an MMO. He has not addressed this question at all. You won't have enough players to sustain the big raids. Yeah, but you can do big raids. And they're fun, and we ban trolls and griefers. Okay. What about the ability to sustain those raids? No? Okay. You wrote this, by the way. You wrote these questions and then didn't answer them. Crazy. Your MMO is more expensive than other MMOs from 10 or 20 years ago, and you have less content than all the old MMOs out there, and there's no endgame yet in your MMO. Everything has an exclamation mark, by the way, because he's painting this as if everyone's shouting angrily at him. All fucking, you know, couple hundred people that even have posted about this game, full stop. Generally speaking, MMOs launch with high prices. I mean, most MMOs nowadays launch with no price. They're mostly free to play. If you include, like, early access packs where you get like a head start and shit, sure, yeah, but then they're free to play after the first couple of days usually. The cost slowly goes down over time, even as the game expands. This is because playing a new MMO is enormously fun when it is new. Yeah, it didn't really help you all too much, did it? At this stage, you have not played every mission and every raid 20 times. You don't know how it all turns out. Most people don't know yet. And the launch team usually has a pipeline of new ideas and partially completed missions they would like to create. The money generated at the beginning helps to fund the expansion of the game. So yes, a new MMO usually does not have an endgame at launch. What? What the fuck are you talking about? MMOs might have a less robust endgame at launch, but the idea that they just have no endgame is patently false. Like, there's no MMO that launches where you buy it, you get to endgame, and the game just ends. There is stuff to do. It might just not be as good as it is fucking 10 years later, because that's obvious. A new MMO usually does not have an endgame at launch, and it's much smaller than old MMOs. It's not like a single-player game that ships with all it will ever have except for paid DLCs, but every MMO you enjoy now started out just as new as we are, with a small fraction of their latest scale, and plenty of wrinkles to smooth out over the years. And, I mean, this is not wrong technically, yeah, of course. More content comes as time goes by. Will this game get more content? Not with 0 players online, it won't. Every MMO since the days of mods has had to compete with older, bigger, and more polished predecessors and win. So our situation is nothing new or unusual. This guy still thinks he's like lacing up his boots and fucking stepping onto the field to score the winning goal, to score the winning touchdown. Like they're gonna come from behind and fucking win the race. Like he's like the everyman dreamer. He's just he watched like fucking Moneyball or something, and then went to sleep, and he woke up in the middle of the night with like the dream that he's figured it out and beaten everybody. Like, this is not real. This motherfucker's living in a movie. There are no streams, no Twitch, no videos. We don't know anything about what your game looks like. Exclamation mark. This comment always gives us pause. But it could be a good faith question from some players who are really centered on Steam and Twitch. We've been developing for over 7 years with some short pauses. We're a very small team, but we have over 100 videos on our YouTube channel. Others have posted videos of beta events too over the years. Almost all of our videos are real gameplay, because gameplay is what matters in the end. And we've had about a dozen alpha, beta, and playtests over the years. Large and small, quite a few were open to the public. We did Steamfest 2 years ago. There are videos and streams everywhere. We'll soon post a video of a couple of our devs playing several missions in one of our first story arcs in the game. Probably the only fucking people playing the game, by the way, to even record. If you prefer third-party sources and other people stream in-ship videos all the time, we don't have time to watch it all, but we encourage it. Some like us and others don't. Some like us and others don't. That's real life, but there's a lot of footage out there. In short, we think our game is very fun to play. We think it's beautiful compared to other MMOs like ours, and the in-game community is very nice and positive. You fucking sat talking to yourself in there. Oh, yeah, I'm a lovely guy. Yeah. Oh, fucking, you look nice today. Oh, thanks, mate. Yeah. We're at the beginning, and if we have to struggle to build a community, we plan to do it. Good luck. Best of luck. Stop posting this shit, of course. It makes you look terrible, but good luck. If you're unsure whether the shipper is worth the cost, the answer is simple. Buy the game and just play it for 90 minutes. If you don't like it, get a full refund from Steam. They're very generous with refunds, and they will tell you more than anyone's opinion on the internet, including ours. Facts. 100% facts. First factual thing you've said the whole time. A new MMO that has a lot of growing in front of it is not for everyone. Lots of MMO players complain that the big MMO firms don't want to take risks. True. So they don't give you anything really new. Well, we took the risk and we have something new, so come and try it. Don't let anyone else make the decision for you. Peace. And regardless of your decision, have fun playing whatever games you enjoy the most. Cool. Nice positive end. Totally delusional. Just is what it is. Didn't answer the question at all. Just completely dodged your own question that you decided to post. This makes you look worse than if you just ignored it completely. And this is just a trend. So yeah, this game is an absolutely monumental failure. Who cares? Nobody. It's just content. It's worth talking about because some people have been following along with this and wanted an update on like what's happened. Nothing. Nobody's playing this thing. It just frequently drops to like 0 players. Lows are getting lower and the highs are getting lower. Like, it's fucking crazy that you're measuring the population in like, oh, there's 2 less players today than there was yesterday. And that's like a big thing because it's like 15% of your population for the game. Wild. But either way, there we go. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Check the links in the video description. Gamer subs, if you want to support me, go buy some stuff. Use my discount code and you'll get money off. I'll get money back. And suggest content you want to see me cover. See you next time. Stay safe. Peace.